Welcome to the fourth and last set of the day between the Viper and the MbL, or MbL versus Viper. In the yellow we have, of course, the Snake playing as the Franks, and in the red we have Hans for MbL. Perfect stuff. Look, that looks like a pretty good draft right there. And hey, how you doing, little bro? Good to see you, man. Good luck with casting this last set. Well, thank you. I will need that. It's of course, it's been 8 hours already. It's been great though. It's been a great day. Let's see. MbL going for well, I said Hans. I already said that. Anyways, now this of course is a who won between Jordan and Hera. Shall I spoil that? It was Jordan. Yeah. Yeah, it was a surprise to me. Not that Jordan won, but that he won in 4 games. Yeah, that was a surprise to me. Did a great job there. So and it's funny though, because I'm not sure if you knew that, but if you didn't know that, it doesn't matter, of course. Like Jordan and the Viper are in the same team, Gamer Legion, and then MbL and Hera are in the same team as well, Aftermath. So it's kind of like a struggle between Aftermath and GL today, and GL is going up 1-0 right now, and it's up to MbL to save the honor of Aftermath here for the Aftermath boys. So let's see if he can do it. Of course, he already battled Viper in a Red Bull Battle of 5, and unfortunately for MbL, Viper did manage to best him there as well. So, going by tournament performance, you'd say that Viper is probably the favorite here, being the legendary player that he is. But that doesn't mean that you can count out MbL. If there's any player that, you know, the unusual out-of-the-box player at the top level that has consistently remained in the top 5, it is MbL. You can never count him out. Never count him out. He's always there, you know, doing something wacky. Also, he's always laming you, although I'm not seeing MbL do that right now. No, he's just scouting his own base. Nor is Viper going to lame. Actually, nor is Viper going to lame. Viper could have lamed, honestly. And he was probably looking for it as well. Look at that. Look at that scouting. That is not a I'm scouting your base kind of scouting. That is a I'm looking for your boar and I'm going to steal it kind of scout. We'll get another good set, I guess. Yes, I guess so as well. It's going to be a good set, that's for sure. We should probably talk about the base layout here for players. This water has looks like Mickey Mouse, doesn't it? Anyways, we got a wood line, a few wood lines in the back for the Viper. You basically have 4 wood lines, it seems. Most of them are kind of far away, but that's okay. You know, the close ones are in the back. Has a back gold as well. That's nice. Has a back stone as well. Frank cheap castles, always a good option to go for. And it takes a map control. This goal is not to the back, it's not forward either, it's kind of on the edge, right? It's kind of leaning towards the left, therefore it is not as safe as it could have been, right next to hills as well. So it's not the best main gold, but it's good to have another gold option here in the back, which Viper will know about now. Had some stone, hey, a T-shaped stone, well, upside down T, but that is mine. I hereby claim Viper stone. And we got some gold on the other side of this hill. That's not a gold that Viper will be thinking about anytime soon. That's more a gold you castle later on. Nice, yeah. Surprisingly though, MbL does not want to lame and make it messy. So at least there's that. He will probably do that at some point. I will eat my shoe if MbL doesn't lame at least once this game. Because that's got to be a different player then. I also love that every time MbL goes forward with a scout, like it's just there's no delay, no hesitation, nothing. He sees boar, he take. Immediately, he take. Now, you wonder why, if you wonder why MbL's score is so much lower than Viper, it's because of the scouting. Look at scouting for MbL, barely any scouting. Look at the scouting for the Viper, he has lots more scouting here. He's actually scouting this gold for MbL. That is one of MbL's secondary goals, so it's just forward. You could TC that maybe later, but again, it's against Frank, so that's a risk, right? TCs outside of your walls are a risk against knights, because knights can easily destroy town centers that are exposed and not walled in. MbL has a main gold which is behind his wall now, which he got the walls up quite quickly. That's a lot of wall and quite a bit of expense. So I wonder what MbL's plan is here for now. He is probably going to go straight archers at that, whereas the Viper is going to go for good question. Probably just scouts, right? Yeah, 20 pop, house, definitely scout. MbL has a back wood line here as well, but lots of his wood lines are kind of far away, like especially this one. It's very far away. It's very open on this side. So there's an awkward little hill you know, that Viper could use to be annoying on and harass the berries here for the Hunt player. And also, this gold is quite out there in the open, so this is a lot of open space. Now, Hunts play open more often than not, but still, you're up against Franks, and Franks also know how to play open. As the Frank player is also going to go to gold now, so Viper taking the decision here not to go for scouts then, so instead it's going to be archers for both players. Yeah, it's going to be archers for both players. As MbL now getting his barracks up, but the thing is, Viper about to hit feudal age will be able to snipe this villager if MbL is not careful. MbL is keeping a scout nearby, so he could probably stop that from happening. Viper's probably just gonna look for a villager. Oh, MbL, I see Viper immediately going for that vill, but I think MbL with the scout there now in feudal age himself, so I think, yeah, Viper, he's not gonna be able to get a vill kill now, get some extra damage on his scout. Takes a hit on MbL, so at least at the end, HP, yeah, still in favor for Viper. Archer range going up as well for MbL, so he wants to make some archers first, or even skirmishes, but Viper already on archer range. Like, he wasn't delayed like MbL, and now you can see the more military coming out for MbL. As MbL is gonna drop giant walls here. Look at these walls for MbL. Boom. He's like, I don't care that it is open on this side. I will wall this, and it will be locked down. I don't want to get attacked by the Viper here. That is not fun. I've been on the receiving end of that, so none of that. None of that. We're not doing this time. Not this time around. As we have to spearmen engaging against each other. They're like the first level, you know, the grunts, the Goombas attacking each other until the real enemies come out and the real boss fight begins. And there you go. An archer on the hill here for Viper does a lot of damage to the spearman. Good thing, of course, for MbL that it's very inaccurate as this wall does go up. And one archer, though, outside of the walls for MbL, and that archer will probably go down at some point. As Viper is running at it with his scout, trying to kill it. For now, it's still alive. Man, even with so little military, you know, it's still very tense. It's still very tense because these little engagements can snowball. Because remember, the moment that Viper snowballs this engagement, he can stop the walls. Look at that. And MbL, he wants to get the wall up. Oh, and he gets the wall up. Nice. Gets that wall up. Investing in that, you know, he's behind an eco as a result of that. That's just inevitable. But now has a beautiful wall. Look at that, how straight that is. That is not a natural wall, like right there. Now the thing is that MbL can now go on the counterattack, right, without having to worry about Viper making his way into his base. You know, so there's that. But Viper has way more military out for now, and especially has way more military over here, chasing this army, which for MbL it's kind of weak, as you can see. Look at that. Out of all the HP that it normally would have, it's like a fourth. Quarter of the HP left. And of course, Spearmen don't really help you there as well, because Spearmen, of course, they only help you against scouts, really. You know, the starting scouts, I guess in this case, is Viper microing away his scouts, and goddamn. And remember, right, we're looking at this casually, but players, they have to like go back to their base and actually, you know, like do stuff and then look again and then do stuff and look again. That's how they see the game. We get to casually look at these little engagements in the front. Yes, MbL's probably not looking at this right now. Now he looks at it again and is running away. This 2 HP archer can still be annoying behind a wood line. Like you could put it right there. That could be pretty nice. Viper is on 1 wood line actually. Look, 2 lumber cans on the same wood line. The same strategy we've seen before today. A few times actually. But Viper, the first one to try to go get some vill picks in the wood line, and actually got a kill, but that must have been just military, because still the eco KD is still 0-0. The MbL has not lost anything, but yeah, it does make your woodline a bit more inefficient. And all those walls, of course, are very expensive to afford. So definitely, at that MbL is a little bit behind. And Viper, he knows what to do with map control when you give it to him. He knows what to do with map control if you give him that. So I'm just looking where MbL's archer is. I think it just went down then. Yeah, this army is just going to look to pressure the walls. I mean, they might not get in, but they do know the pressure here is going to be significant, because look at that. The gold is right there. If they break through these walls, MbL is going to have a bad time. I always say a wall is just as strong as the weakest link, and if there's a hole in the wall, it's like there's no wall at all. And this is true. This is true. That giant wall that MbL went for doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything if the wall goes down. The MbL wants to stop this military from going through. After all is said and done, you know, if you compare the resources for Viper and MbL. Viper has more resources banged at least, or at least more gold and stuff like that. He's looking to click up to the castles, and MbL, he still needs gold for that. He still needs to defend his gold as well. You know, he's doing that with skirmishes as good as he can. But yeah, it's not ideal. Viper putting on a lot of pressure, even though he has like what, 7 military. Yeah, this is what pros do. They make little bits of military work, and that's why they're so strong. As MbL, recognizing that, well, I'm probably gonna like. You know, at some point, Viper is going to break through here. I need a tower. I'm going to go for archery ranges, which means cavalry archers anyways. I'm not going to get the boom right now anyway, so it's better to get some CA out and keep my gold safe, so I'll drop a tower. And also, there's a hole in this wall now. Just say. I know it doesn't look like it, but trust me, there's a hole. Which, ooh. Viper coming forward with a villager now, are we? What is this vill going to do? I mean, it's going to go back farm now, as you can see. Viper's like, okay, no vill then. And wait a minute, what is MbL doing on the back of Viper's base? Ooh, MbL getting to the back of Viper's base here. Viper, of course, is not walled whatsoever. He's gone for, well, I mean, he's gone for some house walls, some building walls, but that doesn't really count as a full wall. And MbL holding this hill, trying to micro around this superior force here from Viper. And Viper is completely fine microing downhill, but still the micro from both players is on point. But MbL, realizing that he's probably not going to get a lot of gain here, is going to abandon that hill and try to run away here. Or at least try to get some, or at least, you know, try to still delay Viper. I mean, I'm not sure. Viper, of course, is only 40 seconds away from castles. MbL still a minute and 20 seconds, and he wants to go for cavalry archers. Now, the downside of that is that you can only start making them in castles. Like crossbows, you could start making right now. Right now, you can be making crossbows, but not with cavalry archers. You know, they might be cheap, but you still can only get them in castles. You know, so in the meantime, Viper could go for different units here. Now the same is true for knights, but knights are more effective in small numbers, so that's why it's okay. As Viper is making a decision here, is getting crossbows, getting botkin arrow, but he's also getting some knights out, so he's kind of making a bit of both here. And it wouldn't surprise me if he expects that MbL is going to go for cavalry archers here. I mean, it's been the theme of this tournament, right? Like everyone keeps going for cavalry archers, especially Slam. Jesus Christ. The dude, he went four times in a row he went for cavalry archers, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. That's so amazing. And it worked about half the time, too. As one knight coming out now in MbL skirmish, just getting caught off guard here. Good thing he didn't get the elite skirm upgrade, because that would have been useless now. As he is queuing some cavalry archers to get a bunch out as fast as he can to deal with those early night raids from the Franks. So we have a town center going up on stone as well, wooden stone. I like this DC a lot. It keeps yourself very safe. We've got a monastery going up as well. You know, so Viper looking to add a 3 town center economy. That is greedy and risky, but actually not that greedy. Not when you're ahead, not when you have map control. Why not go boom on 3 TCs behind? And as a result, you can see that Viper, the macro overlord that he is, will get a great economy, while MbL's economy is going to fall behind. So MbL again is on a clock. On a clock. You have to kill at least the equivalent, right, of what Viper is going to get out of his eco boom. Because otherwise, you're still behind at the end of it. Now, cavalry archers with Huns, you know, you have 8 of them. They have more HP, as you can see if you compare the HPs between the two. See, it's like literally half. Literally half. That's why cavalry archers are more expensive. You know, why they are technically the better unit as far as I'm concerned. Because they have double the HP, basically. But that still means you still need to mass them, though, in order for them to be effective. As Viper is perfectly happy here to keep the front of MbL's base open. Yeah, poor MbL. Yeah. Now, luckily, there's no important resources immediately next to it, except this wood line, which was kind of MbL's big wood line. Now he's had to go down here. He's also going to go to stone because he wants town centers again. 2 villagers to stone probably means town center, unless he brings more villagers. Then it might be a castle. Yeah, look at the vill count. 54 for the Viper, 44 for MbL. And MbL still stuck at his own base. You know, like the difference... well, stuck at his own base with the defensive army. He's sending cavalry archers forward, but then Viper's just like, yeah, that's nice cavalry archers. I'll just make some skirmishers and protect. And if you wonder, but yeah, that's what Hera tried to do last game as well. Yeah, but the difference was that that Jordan had like 30 cavalry archers on the field already, and then Hera made skirmishers. Viper is doing it when there's like 9 cavalry archers. Nice snipe though for MbL. The first equal kill of the game, by the way. Now, both players have kept their villagers alive for a good while as well. We have an attempted conversion now, but yeah, Viper also recognizing, no, that's too late. I'm going to lose my monk, and he loses his monk anyways, but then also a few cavalry archers going down through the TC fire. His army is still in the back. MbL knows it's there, you can see it, but he can't really do anything about it. Now he has a knight out, though. The knight can definitely help against the skirmishers and push that away. Bringing home that other army as well, because it wasn't able to do a whole lot of damage. MbL should be able to clear up this force from the Viper. But remember, Viper doesn't care about losing his force here. He doesn't, you know, his force was never meant to kill MbL or like kill his army. This force was meant to keep MbL's army at home and weaken it as much as he can. And weakening it, he is. Look at that. Let's cavalry archers again. That's all you want to do with them. You know, because Viper is getting a very nice economy league. And I mean very nice. Look at that. 69 villagers for the Viper. Nice. And 47 for MbL. Yeah, he's MbL's falling far behind in economy now. Viper going to a 4th town center as well. And look at this. He's not even making a lot of military right now. He just used what he had left and upgraded from the feudalates and is just defending himself with skirmishers. Now, this is the critical moment. The critical moment where Huns with their cavalry archers, you know, when you get to a decent number, can maybe get some damage in on your opponent. And that's the most important part. As Viper is dropping a castle on this hill, right on his main goal, on his wood line as well. A castle that will not go up for now, because Viper will, MbL will see this and he will be like, yeah, no. That castle's not going to go up, mister. Unless, of course, he doesn't go for it. He's busy microing on the right, I guess. There's not really a hurry. I mean, Viper's not really hurrying either. 4 villagers, that's not a whole lot. And MbL still losing a bunch of units. The KD is still very equal. And the thing with KD is, if it's not in your favor, if you're going cavalry archers, then it hasn't gone very well for you. And nice, also, nice conversions there for the snake. On these knights. I'm not sure if they were both MbLs or one of them was not. I thought they were both MbLs actually. As MbL still trying to get some kills, but he's fighting skirmishers in the front of Viper's base right now. MbL using this pressure to put a town center on the back of this woodline, like I suggested that before, but again, risky. Very risky. As the cavalry archers trying to run into Viper's economy, but remember, MbL, despite having that leather archer armor, they still take a lot of damage from town centers. So it's not a safe move, but there is a lot of economy here that could be raided. Some stone villagers as well. Or Viper again with 4 town centers keeping a lot of his villagers safe. Like, you can hide 60 out of this 87 villagers into town centers if you wanted to. If you wanted to, right? As Viper also going to make some more houses. He's not going to get housed. MbL definitely not going to get housed. These Huns, after all. But it's just... yeah, I mean, for now, so far, the all-in for MbL has not worked yet. You know, he's trying to... do some damage here, but there's so many. The town centers are well positioned for the Viper. There's castles now, 2 castles. I mean, this is what you can do with Franks, cheap castles, like I said. And what is the Hun player going to do? What is he going to do? You're trying to get damage in. You know, you have the military control, but that's only lasts until the economy for the Viper kicks in. He's on 96 villagers now. You know, he's probably going to think about Imp here. Now, expanding farming economy is difficult when you have cavalry archers in the back of your base. This is true. As the monk goes down, allowing the knights now to come in and snipe the skirmishers. Although Viper microing them away, still going for some micro with the skirms here. And before the knights get there to kill him, a few cavalry archers have bitten the dust again. As MbL going for a forward castle. No, don't do it, MbL. There's a giant castle right next to it. Oh, MbL. MB. Oh, Viper is going to commit to his own castle. And look at that. He's going to commit to it. And MbL is like, okay, nah, let's not do that. Let's not do that. So he's going to drop the castle a little bit further back. Something that the Viper can barely see. So he doesn't know whether this is happening or not. And now he sees it, though. Now he sees it. Let's see if he's still going to drop a castle or not. I wonder. Skirmishers are still thinning out the cavalry archer numbers. There's only 22 cavalry archers on the field. And in the end, you're still just 50, yeah, you're still 40 villages behind on your opponent. And that's difficult to come back from. So MbL is still raiding, still the eco KD is in his favor, but only 8 villages. And this is what I mean about the Viper. What I've been saying in the last few sets as well, that I casted of him, is that the most difficult thing the most difficult thing about playing with the Viper is that despite everything you do, he manages to stop you from doing damage to him. And that is the difficulty. Like some other players would have lost like 20 villagers by now, would have still been able to boom up because, again, pro players are pro players. But the Viper does this and loses 10 villagers. Look, it still has cavalry archers everywhere. Okay, now loses a few villagers on his castle. That's good for MbL to find that. Nice. Nice. Very good. But yeah, as MbL, it's going to try to go fast imp here. Look at that. He's selling a stone, selling everything, selling as much as he can to get the Imperial Age here, maybe get some traps out. And the Viper has 1800 gold. He's still not making a lot of units, still has 38 barons, but it's still going to be a while before he gets up to the next age as MbL, now losing that back army in the back as well. Back army in the back. Yeah, that's a tautology. This army has to run away. So many elite skirms as well, which this is about as good as they get, by the way. Like in the Imperial Age, elite skirms won't really do the trick anymore. The Viper is using that cheap Frank bonus to get a lot of castles out so he can keep himself safe. And you know that as soon as he gets up to Imp, it's going to be Paladin. Or at least Cavalier. As this monk is about to get some arrows to the face. Yep. That castle should go up right now, and Viper might even go for a counterattack, but yeah, he's still thinking about going up. MbL has clicked up by now, with like 62 villagers, right? It is possible that a fast imp, maybe if you can get some traps out, you know, if you can trap down some town centers, perhaps there is a shot here, but MbL is very far behind the Viper now. And that's because the Viper, he just doesn't let you do damage. Doesn't let you do damage. He decides that you don't get to do damage. And if you're all in, that is the worst that can happen to you. You lose your army, and then you don't do damage. And look at that. The army count is like completely similar. MbL is going up to the next stage, and he's making Tarkans. He's making Tarkans! Let's go! Tarkans! Fuck. I love it. I mean, I don't love it because he doesn't have any armor on them whatsoever, which you kind of need still. You still need those. You still need armor, as another castle is going up for MbL right now. He evidently wants to keep control of his base, and Viper still in Castle Age. Viper is still in the Castle Age. He's going for his first counterattack in forever here, as MbL finally patches up that hole that has been there for the entire time. Bringing back his own units now, and is going to show his Tarkans. That sounds dirty. Show his Tarkans to Viper. And Viper now sees that. Now Tarkans, because of the extra Imperial, the extra Pierce armor, as you can see, 3, they're pretty good against archers right there. They also have an attack bonus versus buildings, as you can see. 10 versus castle, 8 versus buildings, 12 versus stone defenses, and 8 versus wall and gate. So it's very well balanced out. But yeah, the problem still is lots of skirmishes. You still have to kill all of those, and the cavalry archer still taking damage. Viper clicking up the imp as well, realizing that MbL has gone to imp. He's now starting to spam knights. The army control still not there for MbL, but he will clear up this forward force. This is good. Castle does go up, so traps could come out, but they're very expensive. 200 wood, 200 gold. You know, like that. MbL is selling stuff so he can just afford some traps and start trapping down these castles. But yeah, the Viper's just dropping stables, dropping castles. He's just like, yeah, we're gonna get some knights out, and then we're just gonna destroy everything. And it sucks! You can just see it coming, right? You can just see it coming. 72 villages versus 136. Viper has an insane economy. I told you, like, macro was like, that was one of the strong suits for the Viper. Like, decision making, macro, and then to boot, great micro. Now, being a very well-rounded player is definitely something that has kept him at the top, you know? Because where other players might have, like, rivaled him in certain aspects of micro, macro, decision-making, there was no player that combined them all as successfully as the Viper did for so long, right? I mean, that is not the case anymore. I mean, we have to be honest, Viper is no longer the absolute dominant player, as, Viper losing some villages on the right. Nice find there for MbL, stopping those forward stables from going up, undoubtedly. But that doesn't mean he's still not one of the favorites to win this tournament. He still is in my book. He just has to work a little bit harder than he used to. and that makes it so much more fun for us. So I'm all good with that. As the first castle for the Viper does go down, MbL decided to roll his traps to the left side. But yeah, now Viper also in Imperial Age, and there come the Cavalier. You can see them coming. You can see them coming. You know, Tarkans with no armor upgrades cannot beat the tanky Frank Cavalier in a second with the last armor upgrade. We also have Chivalry, which will make your stables work faster, and the Viper is looking to end this game right here, right now. Keeping his castle up just for a second until his upgrades come in, and then he will take the fight. And yeah, MbL does have Bracer, but Chemistry is still not in. Heavy Cavalry Archers not in as well. So these Cavalry Archers are not going to do all that well against these Knights. And worse still, the Viper could just run right to MbL's base and absolutely annihilate his economy. And that might very well be what's happening here. He's like, I don't really care about this castle, that's okay. It's more like a delay here, really. Now, MbL is finally breaking into Viper's main economy. The thing is, he has to send his army back to deal with this army from the Viper. This scary army. And the Viper, is he gonna get Paladin here? He's gonna get Paladin. Yeah, he's gonna get Paladin. What a beast. What a beast. Actually makes it the Paladin. Just didn't make a single knight, or barely any knights the entire game. And now he has the resources to go for Paladin. The traps go down. That means that the push from MbL will stall out right there. And these Cavalier are about to run right into your economy. Right into your economy. Yeah, MbL is getting all the upgrades he can afford. He's trying to get his mass up, but still, it's only 38 Cavalry Archers, and this is going to be Paladins in 45 seconds. Oh, God. Archery range going up as well for more Cavalry Archers, but Paladins is not something that Huns can deal with if they don't have their own out. And Heavy Cavalry Archers is fun and all, but it's an expensive unit to go for. Remember, that's like 800 food, 500 gold or something like that. I'm not sure if that's the exact price. In that ballpark, right? That's not something that MbL is ever going to afford. And now, boom, Paladin. First time we've seen Paladin in a while, and now MbL sees the Paladin. And I wonder if he's going to continue playing here when Paladin start wrecking his town center. Now, just commit to the town center, just kill it. Just kill it. As MbL's trying to wall in the Knights, the Paladins, but you're actually walling yourself in with Paladins, which are absolutely going to destroy you. 50 villagers now for MbL. Worked really hard to boom into a 2TC eco. At the same time, Paladins coming at the front, starting to destroy the castles now. Yeah, Paladins. I mean, MbL has a ball of Cavalry Archers, but it's not Heavy Cavalry Archer yet. They do 2 damage, no, 3 damage against these Paladins, so it's better than nothing. I mean, MbL is still cockroaching a little bit. I mean, that is what he's known for, staying alive as long as he can. But I think once the Paladins start running through your economy, I think at that point you kind of need to face matters as they are, which is, you know, yeah, like that. Paladin raids everywhere now. MbL trying to save his villagers, you know, defending with Cavalry Archers on either side, but there's just not enough CA, and MbL says, yeah, GG. When there's Frank Paladin in my economy, that is probably the moment that the GG should come in. And the Viper handily winning the first game. Yeah, I mean, MbL, he wanted to go for Cavalry Archers, he wanted to do damage like we've seen so many times across the tournament, but yeah, Viper just didn't let him do damage. Until the end. Then he let him do damage, but it was too late by then. Once you have 120 villagers, losing a few doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter. It's when it's your early castle age economy, when it's very fragile, that's when you care about losing villagers. And until this, look at the boom. Just a greedy boom from the snake, basically. And I call it greedy because he made barely any military. But hey, he used that military from feudal age, and he kept MbL, all this military, he kept it at his base, MbL. And then by the time that MbL came forward, Viper already had a lot of economy out. Yeah, just beautiful. Proving once again that macro wins games. Micro can win games as well, but only in particular situations. Good macro and good strategy pretty much always lead to a win. If you can pull it off. You know, and then combine it with good micro and you're all golden. KD, yeah, better for MbL, but yeah, in the end, I mean, he did have Cavalry Archers, but in the end, he started losing a bunch of units as well. Yeah, then you're going to lose a lot of units trying to keep your castles up, your buildings up. There's no way, absolutely no way that he could do that. But a good effort nevertheless, though. I mean, he had to do something. It was all he could do, but then, you know, when Franks get to the late game with Paladin, what do Huns do, really? and their own paladin, which are kind of worse because they have less HP. If you have a giant economy and a giant ball of cavalry archers, now that's different, right? That's different, but we weren't there yet, so. I wonder if MbL, if he had seen Viper go greedy, if he would have tried to counter that with his own greed. You know, force Viper to make some military because nothing is happening. I don't know. Maybe. Anyways, GG. First game goes to the Viper. And good. There we go. Let me update the score there. Let's they'll probably have gone to the second game already. Yep, there you go. So we're like a few minutes behind. But it's not a problem. We'll be right into this next game. And I hope for MbL's sake that he's going to pick a Sith that allows him to beat the Viper here. But I think he should be able to do this. He should be able to do this. I have faith. That's all I'm saying. As MbL going for a different color. That might make all the difference in the world. Hey, sometimes it does, huh? Sometimes it does. As we have 10 seconds of respect delay, so we're all good there. Level water there. And we can get started if it loads, that is. Let's see what civilizations our two friends have gone for. And booyah. Alrighty, let's see. What do we got here? Welcome to the second game between the MbL and the Viper, or MbL and Viper. In the yellow, we got Viper going for Sicilians. Ooh, strong Civ. For MbL, we have Vikings for him. So, interesting. Like, Sicilians aren't the best booming Civ in the world. Yes, their farms are awesome. They just don't run out ever. That's a lot of wood saved, honestly. So, that's true, yes, but Vikings have great economy, and I should probably be looking at green if I'm doing that. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna make MbL red again. I know he probably picked green to, like, boost himself a little bit. Maybe green, yellow, it conflicts a little bit. Maybe Viper will get confused or something like that. Just joking. But for this stream, I'll just keep it red, because for the sake of consistency, right? So yeah, I wonder if Viper is gonna go greedy, like a greedy economy boom again. And I know we call it greedy, but that's not really. It's not like real world greed, where it's signifying a bad thing. Really, what the word greed signifies in Age of Empires means this person built economy. Normally, you should make military to protect your economy, but this person didn't do it and got away with it. That is why we call it greed. You know, it's not negative; it's more jealousy, right? Like, I want that economy as well. But I had to make military to defend my economy, and you got away with it without it. You bastard, bastardo. Right? It's really just a skill thing if you can go greedy successfully, huh? Any case, you can also just call it macro, really. Whatever you prefer. I like the term greedy. It sounds kind of naughty. Any case, for MbL. I'm not sure if he's gonna try to go YOLO again. I don't think Vikings is really that Civ that you go for that. I think what's better at Vikings is a moderate boom, right? It doesn't have to be 150 villagers, but you go for a moderate boom, maybe 3 town centers, you build your crossbow mass, you get to the Imperial Age faster than everyone else, and then you start pushing with Arbalest down the middle. It was their simplest game plan. Now, it's a little bit complicated by the fact that you don't get Thumb Ring, which is a problem, kind of. Sicilians, do they get Thumb Ring? I think they missed that upgrade. I think Sicilians also lack Thumb Ring, so something. They definitely lack the last armor upgrade, so stopping your archers is going to they're going to have to rely on their cavalier. So in any case, but yeah, the thing is when we talk about MbL and the Viper, right, as macro players, you probably think the Viper is the better macro player out of the two of them, you know. So they'll probably get ahead in the boom, although slightly so. And when it comes to late game, very close. Very close. I mean, they're both legendary late game players if it gets that far this time. So I wouldn't want to. You know, stake my name on calling which player is better there. So I'm just gonna reserve my judgment. Any case, let's look at the base layout as players have them. We'll start with MbL because we're already here. We got a woodline forward, we got a gold forward as well, but very close to the TC. That's not too bad. We got a kind of an awkward woodline over here. It is supposed to be 2 woodlines, I think, but Yeah, no. If he walls between here and the berries that are also kind of forward are kind of safe, you know, on this, you know, behind this hill. If of course Viper gets a military on top of this, especially archers, then that's not an ideal situation. But with some walling, you can prevent that. And Viper once again is trying to lame the lamer boy. You know it's laming because he's looking for a boar. He's looking for something here. Like this is not the kind of scouting that and that's the kind of scouting you routinely do here. You know, to just find. Well, of course, you find all your opponent's resources. This is also just good scouting. Let's just be fair about it. But it kind of feels like he's looking for something. Don't you get that sense as well that he's kind of looking for something? Like he's looking for a rhino. I don't know. Also, I am going to continue to call him boar. I don't know. That's just ingrained in my brain right now. I can't help myself. So if I say boar and you see an elephant, then just, you know, pretend I said the right word. Now for Viper, we have a very open bases ish as well, you know, like it's very open in the back, but that doesn't have to be a problem depending on your wall. The right side though is open, lots of tricky hills as well, and extra gold, the berries are there, the gold is right behind that, so the right side of the Viper's base is very important, especially because I think he's just going to wall off the front quite easily here. As MbL, again, only now going forward. This is so unlike MbL. Like, normally he always goes forward and lames everyone. He did the rest of the tournament, but I guess this time he wants to take the more cautious approach because he also it's also a respectful recognition of how strong the Viper is. We got some men-at-arms coming forward. No, actually a Drush. Not a Drush. It's a Drush actually coming forward now from MbL, but Viper is already almost in the feudalates here, so 8 minutes and 40 seconds. That does qualify as a late Drush. You know. Although technically he's clicking up now, so I guess he can just go men-at-arms then. Like normally, right, you click up, and then you make the militia, and then you have men-at-arms. That's the order in which you do it. But I guess by the time that MbL actually makes it to Viper's base, he might still get that upgrade, although, you know, Viper, of course, just going to make some archers, and then counter that, and at that point your men-at-arms become kind of useless, and not really worth it to make. Unless, of course, you're Malians, and you have a tanky militia line... a tanky militia line with, of course, the extra pierce armor on your unit, which cannot be underestimated. That is really strong. And don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake when you're up against Mali and you see champions and you're like, oh, let's make some archers. No. Champs girls. I mean, they're not as strong as Huskarls against archers, but they're getting there. With the pierce armor, but they have like 7 pierce armor, it's no joke. No joke. Especially because they're champions. Way stronger than skirmishers, for sure. MbL is just kind of delaying a little bit in the back of Viper's base. He just wants to make sure that when Viper brings out archers, those archers go, you know, attack his militia instead of his own base, right? This is the kind of delaying you can get out of this with a Drush. You know, as long as this is alive, Viper might be distracted by this. Focus on this, of course. The berries have been abandoned as well by the Viper for a second there. You know, so that's a bit of idle time as well. And maybe allowing MbL to get his archers up and also to get... the walls up as he's walling up the right side. I like that, keeping that safe. The left side is very open for MbL, so that's not really wallable at the moment. Although, that's what we said last time, and he still walled the entire freaking map. So, it's if MbL wants to wall, MbL will wall. Now, Viper, with good micro, will of course kill these militia. Like, with good micro, you should not be able to die to militia. Because your units are faster than the militia are. You know, so these should never be able to do damage to you. Now, instead of getting a man-at-arm upgrade, MbL smartly here going for the horse crawler upgrade, and obviously, right, like these should not be men-at-arms, really not. They have some extra HP because they are Viking militia, but they were never going to get a whole lot of value here. This is kind of the end of the line for them as they're being chased away by archers, and Viper is happily chasing them around, you know, because this army is still ineffectual but annoying, right? Potentially annoying. If they find a villager, they could still delay it. Could still potentially kill it if you don't pay attention to it, so it's not like it's impossible. MbL, yeah, starting to build buildings on the left side. That's of course to get himself a little bit walled, as he's bringing out some. What is he making? Some archers, a skirmisher in there as well. Just a one archer range build right here, which means you want to get your farm count up as fast as possible and go to the castleates as fast as you can. He's walling to the gold. You want to wall around it. like this is a better wall, right? If you wall like that, because it's on top of the hill, so it takes less damage from other units that are firing on it, and it also shields your gold better. This cheaper, but ineffectual. Doesn't really get the desired effect, which is to stop Viper from attacking your gold villagers. And like, look, 3, 2, 1, and you have them in your gold. Now, in MbL's defense, right, if he had been walling over here, this archer army would have caught that walling off guard, so this would have happened anyways. But still, yeah, MbL off a gold right now. Where is his other gold? Let's see. That's another gold, and out here. So he does have a gold out there, which is kind of safe, but then he walled this out again as well. So, no gold for MbL for now then. Unless he goes back to this main gold. He might have to tower that actually if Viper keeps coming forward with a lot of army. This wood line, of course, very thin, so it can easily be ranged by the archers. So yeah, MbL has to reposition his villagers now. And Viper with a small army definitely causing some idle time here. You can tell, like, this is how effective it is, right? Like 2 whole minutes of work time lost by the MbL. If I'm interpreting that correctly, which might not be the case. I'm not gonna say. We'll have to ask the capture H team. MbL going for a counterattack, but Viper is on top of that. He's been tracking that, so he knows where that army is, and he's gonna push it away with some skirms. Yeah, and this is a brilliant way to do it, by the way. You know, you make archers to attack yourself, and then you make skirmishers to push away the counterattack. As MbL skirmishers are still alive. I hate it when this happens, by the way. You send villagers into the wood line and then they go to the other side. Yeah, MbL just noticed that and he's gonna send that villager back. It sucks when that happens. Because we have a mill being deleted so that... no, a house being deleted, I guess, or something. So that this wood line is a little bit more efficient as a result of that. MbL, after all is said and done, made a whole lot of skirmishes to defend himself, a whole lot of idle time, especially on the wood line, means that his farm count isn't very high. It's 12 farms, which is a good number for a archer player, but look at Viper, 14 farms have been continuously working, and look at his food count. He's about to click up here. About to click up to the castle age faster than the Viking player. So yeah, this is exactly how you deal with Vikings. You force them into towers, you force them into idle time, you keep them busy at their base, force them to make units, anything you can do to counteract the fact that they get wheelbarrow for free and you don't. Also, getting wheelbarrow at some point might help. I mean, you fall behind in the vill count, as you can see. Yeah, Viper is behind in villagers, 35 to 41. It's not like Viper lost villagers, it's just... he did have some idle time, and just the fact that he didn't have wheelbarrow. Also the fact that he clicked up already. That's going to definitely make a difference in the vill count as well. MbL. Oh, MbL gets housed. There's a reason why the stereotype is a thing. He does get housed here and there. He does. But I mean, I'm not at liberty to say because, of course, you know, I get housed all the time. Notoriously, every time I try to go past castle, I always forget the 4th house. Every time. I always forget it. Or the 5th house. Either one of the two. Viper still being annoying in the back here. Sitting on a hill as well. Nice micro from both players. MbL hasn't lost a single unit. Viper's lost 2 archers. MbL losing now 2 skirmishes. And yeah, Viper's going to stop microing this now because it's not worth his time anymore. It was worth his time before. Not anymore now. Or I guess not. Nope, he's going to continue to micro. He's like, oh, I'm not dead yet? Okay, I'm still going to micro it then. Run away, and yeah, MbL will have to chase that right now. I wonder if the militia will pop out and get a kill at some point. Because the thing with villagers is that if they get attacked by a militia on 3 HP, they will not turn around and kill it. They will just run away. And that militia could still kill villagers if you're not paying attention. Archer range coming out now for the MbL, but he is making Archer, so thank God he's not gonna go for cavalry archers. Don't even think about it. No bloodlines, please. And no thumb ring, please. No cavalry archers with Vikings. No. That's a big no. As the Viper is knocking on the door on the right side with a sizable army as well. That should kind of scare you a little bit. The archer count for MbL, you know, at least the gold is safe, but you can't boom now, which is kind of a problem. Because that's the whole thing with Vikings, you know, a small little boom to get the Imperial Age faster. And yeah, the Sicilian player is like, nah mate, we're gonna go to 3 town centers, and knowing Viper, he actually sold some of his stone, because Sicilians start with 100 extra stone. he might actually go to a 4th town center sooner rather than later, because he did place that town center on stone, which is pretty telling. You know, because when people deliberately place TCs on stone, and this is deliberately on stone, it's just on the stone, that means they want either a castle or more TCs, but usually a castle. A forward castle is pretty dangerous with Sicilians as well, because think about it, Sicilians built their castles 100% faster, so it goes up twice as fast, basically, and that allows you to drop a castle much faster than any other civ, and also it's less likely it's going to be a doubt castle. Like if you drop a castle with 10 villagers, it's pretty much going to go up with Sicilians every time, even if it's under a lot of pressure. Whereas you do it with any other civ, and if your name is doubt, it's probably not going to go up. If your name is not doubt, then you know that doesn't matter. You can still drop a doubt castle. I love that even the developers have adopted that term, right? Like that achievement that you get, the achievement that they added, in which they honored the doubt castle, the castle of a doubt. I like it. Of course, doubt is the real world. As Viper running past this tower, yeah, I mean this tower will keep MbL's woodline safe a little bit, also drive Viper's force into the crossbows now for the Viking player. No ballistics on that just yet, no in the university either, so Viper can still out micro this if he wants to. Also has had to heal for a second there, and MbL taking some losses himself. Yeah, Viper, ooh, MbL coming in from the other side now, hoping to maybe cut this army off and maybe end this army's life a bit sooner than they would have hoped. There's 9 brave men caught out in the desert being chased by a superior force. Although a superior force or not, 3 of them have already gone down, and MbL still losing numbers here. The KD has been decidedly in the favor of the Viper here. Also, again, look at the eco count climbing for the Viper. 57, 49 for MbL, and once again he's stuck on 1 town center, and he can't afford a second one. You know, because he doesn't have the stone. And he'd have to buy stone in order to do that. But right now, he's busy getting his crossbow numbers up. And Viper, you know, he's not even running away with this. You know, he's just picking little fights, just preoccupying MbL as he's dropping a siege workshop now to defend himself. Because the longer that Viper still has a presence here, MbL would have to defend himself, which means that MbL will not be attacking Viper at his home base. Who is not even walled, by the way. He's not even playing with walls. He doesn't need them. Now, there is a lot of villages to be raided, and yes, the militia come out. Let's see. Can I get a kill? Can I get a kill? Let's go. Go, militia. Go, team militia. Oh, no, Viper. Yeah, that's cheating. You're not allowed to notice that. Okay, well, that was the right response. And unfortunately, militia, yeah, biting the dust without any glory. Yeah. Well, you know, I didn't seriously think they were going to get a kill, but I was hoping for it. I mean, we got a little excited there. They could have. If Viper wasn't paying attention to that, you know, maybe if MbL did that at the same time he was attacking Viper's crossbows, you know, you only get 1 attack noise, and if Viper doesn't pay attention to the bottom of the map where there's a one blinking unit, then hey, maybe, you might actually get a kill, but the chances of that were slim. As that horse goes down, militia goes down as well. Viper was looking at this anyway, so yeah, there you go. No kills with that. Viper also trying to break into the other side of the wall. The wood line is open as well. And, god. And MbL is just having to defend. He still hasn't been able to push out with his crossbows. And the military count, look at that. It's 30 to 9. 30 to 9, and it doesn't freaking matter as Viper is getting his knight upgrades. MbL tried to go for some house walls. I mean, they did go up, so Viper does have to walk around that now, which brings him closer to this tower and also this mangonel. So Viper should probably run away from this now, but he is paying attention to this. Oh, paying attention, but almost still ran right into that mangonel trap. Yeah, so Viper is probably gonna run away now and cut his losses. Still, again, forcing all sorts of idle time and shenanigans like that. And the question is Viper going to go to Imp, or is he going to spam Knights? That's the question. You could do either. If he goes to Imp, he needs a castle though, because there's okay. He's gonna build some stables now. He's getting all the upgrades right now. He's getting the upgrades now, which tells me he probably wants to get some Knights out now, because MbL is on his way with siege and a lot of crossbows. That's 24 crossbows, but that will be fully upgraded. Sicilian Knights here. Let's see about the reaction. Man, look at that freaking reaction time. Only loses 1 village. It's just not fair. It's just not fair. It's 57 villagers for MbL, 87 for the Viper. But MbL's on the way to Imp. Now this is what Vikings do, right? Even with 1 TC, you get your economy rolling a little bit, you get your crossbow numbers up, you go to Imp, and you get Arbalest faster than everyone else. Now this is what Vikings do well. And also a beautiful hill here for MbL to control, straight in the middle of Viper's economy. Imagine if MbL could get a castle up himself here. Right there, that would be the greatest castle in the history of the world. It literally almost ranges 3 town centers. And it's just such a nice hill to push from. As MbL doesn't believe, yeah, he sees those stables, right? He sees the numbers, he sees the flags, the number of flags grow, right? On top of the stable. So he's probably like, yeah, we don't want to lose our archers now. And it is critical. It is critical that he should control his archer numbers here. He needs to keep this archer mass alive. This is his one window back into this game. Fast Imp, Arbalest, and doing damage with that. As he's dropping a town center now on this wood line to keep himself a little bit more safe. Ballistics is in by now as well. Now that is this army right there. Is it? If he loses this army, that is GG. Because you're too far behind in economy now. Viper will just go to Imp himself and will absolutely wreck you. Right? With knights. Like last game. So that's very important. As MbL bringing forward some villagers. I think he wants a siege workshop up on that hill. He saw that hill and he saw how nice that is. There's a gold behind there as well. 3 town centers in the range. If you get mangonels up, you can just go everywhere. As MbL gets to Imp, he's gonna get the he's gonna drop that mangonel. The siege workshop, I mean, a little bit more further back, so it's safer. Viper does see that now, sees a lot of mangonels come with that, and now he should be a little bit cautious, but he's also sending his army forward because he knows if MbL is out there, he's not at home, and there's a hole! Oh, another hole, this cheesecake of a game. And then you suddenly have Sicilian Knights in your base. MbL has not noticed that just yet. You should notice it now. Yep, now he notices it, and now it's like, Christ, Knights. And now you have to ask yourself, what are we going to do here? As Viper dropping a castle now, a Sicilian castle should go up here, even though there's Arbalest. He is committing a lot of villagers here, so this is a good number of villagers that are going to go down. And if this wasn't a Sicilian castle, that should never go up. But now Viper controlling this critical hill in the middle of his base, and MbL is not going to be happy about that. Losing his mangonels as well, and there goes your momentum. There goes your momentum. You're stuck defending against knights, which are getting a bunch of kills in your base as well. Like 12 villagers dead to just freaking Sicilian knights. You're down to 47 villagers. You're trying to get Captram out as well to start maybe to push from the left side. I mean, MbL's still alive. He's still alive. He still has this ball of Arbalest. That is what is keeping him alive for now. But yeah, there goes the Viper, and look what he's getting. Look what the Viper is getting. He is getting infantry armor. That can only mean one thing. That means First Crusade. Also, note the fact that Viper has 5 town centers, one of which is all the way over here on an extra gold for MbL. Yeah, denying a woodline at the same time with the crossbows he had left. It's going to be First Crusade in a second here. And MbL might have a giant ball of Arbalest, but as soon as Halberd Cavalier come out, Sergeants come out, there's not a whole lot of Cavalier or Knights right now. So again, MbL is pushing into Viper's base, and Viper better be very careful about this, because Captram break through your base quite quickly here, as Viper is going to go for another panic castle right next to his other castle. But is that going to go up though? Is that going to go up? I don't know about that one. It might be a Sicilian castle, but Viper is taking some very risky decisions here. And he's kind of squandering that build lead a little bit. I mean, it's still 47 to 95, so it's still double the vill count for Viper than it is for MbL. But the castle, it's a doubt castle at 91%, and that cost him like 20 villagers to not build. And he's still, yeah, okay, the MbL finally dealing with those pesky crossbows behind the wood line. And, Viper, he's trying to get to Imp, but that is his MTC. That's the MTC, Viper, what are you doing? Oh, get it into the hidden TC over here. And Viper, where's he gonna get Imp now? But that's the next target. Viper, what are you doing? You're not gonna seriously let MbL get back into this game, right? I mean, MbL, as First Crusade did come out, but Viper, because he had 2 TCs less, now only 21 sergeants instead of 35, which is a normal number. Imp still not in, and that town center is under stress as well. That castle's not going to save you here. This ball of military that MbL has cannot be stopped right now. It can't be stopped. MbL sees the sergeants, but again, they don't have that many upgrades just yet, and there's not that many of them either. Oh, dungeons though. I love it. Look at that dungeon rush from the Viper here on MbL's base. But the problem is he still has to keep himself safe. Oh, it's still 1 minute, 2 minutes away. MbL, if only he knew, that this is the Imp TC. Just go to the TC. I mean, he can't know. He's gonna get rid of the stables, and I know that's nice as well because you're afraid of those Halberd Cavalier. I know. But the MTC is so close. Viper's probably biting his nails right now. He's like, am I gonna win this? Am I gonna win this? Oh, the light cap coming in though to kill the ram. It's still on 27 HP. It could still do it in theory. In theory. Oh, MbL. Oh, if only he knew this. If only he knew this. Is he gonna still try? Is he gonna try? Ram it down. Come on, ram it down. He's hitting the town center now. The ram going forward, but he's not putting it on the town center. Arbalest coming in from the other side as well. 27 seconds. MbL is sending the ram now, but the ram is too low in HP. It's going to go down, and Viper gets up to him. Oh, what a lucky bastard. What a lucky bastard. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of freaking that? Now, that TC is not going to go down to the Arbalest, even though they have the hill bonus and they're almost there. Oh, Viper. And this is also the thing, right? This is also the thing. One, great play by MbL with the pressure. Viper maybe a bit too overconfident there that his economy was going to save him there. MbL definitely proving that early imp for Vikings is very dangerous. But this is also what I heard T90 say about Viper, right? How he has evolved as a player, where, before... the way that he would take decisions was usually like very uncontroversial, very just sound decision making overall, right? And nowadays he takes more risks, it seems, more risky plays. Like this castle right there, he lost 20 villagers building that. Going imp in this TC that now went down after all. I mean, Viper has like, what, 2 TCs left? Very risky. And as a result, MbL is just all over. And look at that, 75 military, only 9 for the Viper. He's trying to go for sergeants, which, yes, they have about the same amount of pierce armor as a normal knight. That's true, if they're elite, that is. Halberd Cavalier, I mean, that's the comparison. But Arbalest should be able to kill the sergeant nonetheless. Especially if it's low numbers. Viper is being pushed off at gold everywhere, and MbL is making it work. He's making it work. Nice castle there to block the expansion from the Viper from the left. Viper trying to get some traps out. From these castles, start trapping down this castle from MbL. And now MbL, of course, is going to have a hard time stopping those traps from trapping down this castle because he's using mostly range units, which will not be able to run under here and kill this. As MbL is getting a trap of his own. I mean, he has the hill. He can still repair with the villagers if he wants to. Viper at the same time getting raided over here as well. He's forced to drop a dungeon over here. This dungeon is still up. Man, this game is so messy. The Viper, has lost so many villagers. He's still making them. He's trying to reboom. But again, 2 town centers is going to take a while before you get your vill counts up. And also 1 town center that is in the middle of a war zone right now. But, MbL coming in from the other side with some Arbalest. Has some Arbalest in the back of MbL, in the back of Viper's base still. Game is crazy. This game is absolute insanity. I just thought Viper's just going to go for Cavalier. It's going to go up to Imp, get Halberd, and kill all the Arbalest, right? And none of that. MbL proving his worth there. Using the cap trap and the insane amount of Arbalest here to push forward and push Viper out of his own base. And Viper is still holding on, but that's the thing. He's supposed to be ahead, but he's holding on. And MbL is 69 villagers, and that's really nice. So, how do you beat that? MbL also controlling the middle of the map. Our sergeants, which are not cheap units, still going down. They're not elite yet either, so only 7 pierce armor. Only 7 pierce armor, hear me say. We have another town center now for MbL as he's trying to get his economy up as well. It's 3 town centers for him now, a 4th one to try to catch up with the Viper, which he probably perceives to be an eco lead. But Viper is actually only 20 villagers ahead. I told you MbL could do it, and MbL is one of the best late game players in the world too, and he's making it work right now. He's ahead in score, ahead in military, ahead in position. He's just everywhere right now, except here. Everywhere right now across the map. Ramming stuff down. He hasn't quite gotten to the main castles yet, but he's starting to get to right now. Bringing out his own trebuchets, and those of Viper have gone down or are running away right now. Or rolling away is the better term. Now there is a moment, you know, it's like the momentum for MbL is stalled out a little bit. Like Viper has stabilized, especially spamming some elite skirms around the map, which don't really kill Arbalest with chemistry and bracer, especially not if you have you lack that final armor upgrade. But they still get bonus damage. They still kill Arbalest as fast as every other civ. So if you can get enough out, then you're still fine. As the Viper is getting conscription, very important. I was just checking if he was getting it and what castle he was getting it. Is MbL. Ooh, MbL being pushed back now himself, losing a trebuchet, I think, as well. Yeah, so MbL still fighting over this hill at the same time as he is supposed to fight everywhere else. Viper has a really weird base as well. Like, there's a lot of expansion far away from his base. There's a lot of villagers over here as well. That's almost a third of his economy right here. A third of his economy is right here on the right. If MbL overwhelms that, he actually has the vill lead. It's 92 villagers now for MbL, 109 for the Viper. The Viper is not as far ahead as he used to be. By far, that's not a critical, controversial thing to say. Town center going down for the Viper as well. Yep, there it goes. Kablam. As now the Viper is getting the last armor upgrade for cavalry, and he's making light cap. So he wants to raid. Evidently wants to use skirmishers to kill as many arbalests as he can and raid around with his light cap, maybe get some kills. Because Vikings, of course, lack that mobility a little bit. Looks like there was some raiding in the back a little bit as well. Or I guess, no, that's a getter point mistake. Some weak rams hanging out here, but they can't kill anything without support. Yeah, so light cap should not be able to kill these arbalests. At least not like that. As MbL still taking fights, and Viper, I mean, what? I still don't see the army count rising here. We're now making full trash here against Arbalest. You know, and the Viking player, of course, can match with his own elite skirmisher, maybe even some pikemen if he really wanted to. If he sees light cap come out, he might be goaded into doing that. Viper going to drop a castle on his extra gold now on a nice hill as well on the right side of the base. I mean, MbL, like, for all it's worth, his expansion has not been the greatest as he's making berserkers right now. Right? I mean, he's still catching up in economy. Like, Viper's economy is still slightly better than MbL's. Slightly, but also just like how efficient it is as well. But we're getting to a point where this game is just completely evened out from what it was before. And MbL, like, proving that if you go YOLO in one TC in pushes, that can work. It can. As the berserkers are coming out now, which should do well against both the light cap and the skirmishers. Is Viper still trying to trap down this trap? Gets a trebuchet. Nice. And is probably going to roll forward to try start trapping down this castle. MbL getting pushed back a little bit in his base. Remember, these skirmishers, despite lacking that final armor upgrade, still do enough damage to kill these arbalests nonetheless. You still don't really want to fight against them, even though it's a better trade for you. This dungeon finally going down, so I can stop looking at the TC blink. That's nice. And you have full trash for now for the Viper. It's 50-50 military count. It's 50-50 villagers. This is such an even game. Such an even freaking game, man. And oh, well, MbL, don't take that fight. That's not a good fight for you. No. He's getting more, he's getting infantry armor right now. He's getting more berserks out, but he only has one castle, so I'm not sure if that's the right play here. You know, if we're going to make berserks, why not just make champions then? And not because champions are better than the berserks, it's because you can mass them, actually, if you lose your castle. So, MbL going for a castle in front of his base. Yeah, I like that. It's a nice defensive castle. Don't think that Viper can deny that with his skirmishers. They don't do enough damage for that. They'll kill a whole bunch, though. 81%. More villagers going down. Viper still killing villagers. 95% going up. There we go. That's all nice. That's all done for. The Cap Ram finally finding those houses are going to house the Viper because that's the best way to kill him. Of course, you know, you house him and then he can't make units. Perfect. And this is the second late game war we got here in MbL, fighting for the honor of Aftermath. It has evened out a little bit. I mean, Viper has stabilized you know, has done a good job stabilizing, because that insane pressure from MbL was almost the death of him, especially with Arbalest running through his economy. You know, it's 166 pop for the MbL, 176 pop for the Viper. It's very close, very close. One player though is making is still has a lot of gold units on the field. The other player making mostly trash. Although I'm seeing some Cavalier coming out now. Cavalier with Hallberg. Oh yes, 8 pierce armor on those. That means that your Arbalest do only 2 damage, and Viper is storming the hill to get to the base of the tower. MbL going for some quick walls. He wants to get that trebuchet, and he will get that trebuchet to stop the trap from killing Viper's trebuchet, and Viper is gonna eventually kill this castle now as the skirmishers storm the hill as well. The repair villagers will get massacred, and MbL is going to lose most of these Arbalest, if not all, to these freaking tanky Cavalier. Look at that. Look at these freaking Cavaliers not take any damage. Only 2 damage per Arbalest, which means you're still gonna need like what? Like 40 shots to get one down. Not even. 140 HP? You do the math. MbL losing his castle, and MbL realizing the left side of his base is about to crumble. The Viper also is going to drop some stables in the back. Look at that. We didn't actually see that, and MbL saw that but couldn't stop it anymore because of the quick walls. Nice quick walls. Good job. But yeah, MbL, man, he played out of his mind, man. He played so well. That early imp push, you know, demonstrating that Vikings are so dangerous, even without Thumbring in the early Imperial Age. But Viper, he stabilized as well. And also MbL getting so unlucky not killing this freaking TC. He could have killed it. He so could have killed it. And he got distracted by the stables. I know Hallberg Cavalier are scary, but if he had gotten that freaking TC, Viper would have been stuck in Castlate for a while. You know, denying it again. You know, he would have gotten. Would have had to get. He would have had to get Imperial Age with this TC. That would have been the safest TC, and it's right all the way out here. Man, I mean, you look at this map, you ask, how did this happen? How did this happen? Where Viper is like literally living over here, and MbL is kind of crammed in a corner, but then living over here. Yeah, don't ask me. But yeah, in the end, Viper. I mean, Vikings, the longer the Imperial Age lasts, the more they drop off, right? When more counters come out, and Viking cavalry sucks ass, so you can't really counter skirm play easily. Not when your opponent has way better cavalry than you, especially those bad boys. And that's difficult for Vikings to deal with. Now, MbL knew he was on the clock. He knew he had to kill Viper in early imp or else lose the game. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of options for him anymore. Especially after the wood lines started running out. Yeah, he would have been out of wood too. Look at that. These wood lines would have been denied. This wood line would have been denied. These wood lines would have been denied as well. And it's completely open in the back of his base. No wood to fall back on. Yeah, Viper had way more wood in that regard. How much wood was there still left? I see most of the wood was around Viper's base. You know, he had way more wood access. And MbL normally would have probably expanded this way, but Viper was already there with the TC. 2-0 for the Viper. But this was one where Viper almost died. Almost died. He got close there. And that was a big risk on his part, for sure. Militarily, we got a better KD for MbL. Yeah, definitely did a great job pushing buildings as well, killing 45 buildings with those freaking capped rams. Hey, the fastest way to get the level of town is capped ram. Viper also making way more army, losing a bunch more of it as well. So there's that. But the economy difference, look at that, 20,000 more resources collected for the Viper. Mostly food. Look at that, 14,000 more food, and that makes all the difference in the world in trash wars. So we have 4 castles for the Viper. Once those castles went up, you know, Viper definitely, you know, stabilizing a little bit. But look at this. This right here, this moment, this was a critical moment for the Viper. You know, if he had not gotten up to imp, that could have been really bad for him because he had no military out capable of dealing with these freaking Arbalests. Remember that if he's not an imp, he can't get bracer on his skirmishers either, and then his skirmishers become way worse. Way worse. A lot of spikes here, both players being on the same level, a similar level with APM. GG. Let me update the score here. Let's score 1. There we go, 2-0 for the Viper. And let's see if the third game is there. Yep, we have a third game. If there's some spec delay, I will show you the draft. If not, we will just go right into the game. Well, because don't want to wait way too long, obviously. Let's see if we can find the game, how much spec delay there is on it. Or if they're just going to go straight for it. I mean, MbL also knows that he's probably not going to win this match, right? He's up against the Viper, and he's down 2-0. Like, that's... feels difficult, right? We want to have faith, but it feels like it's going to be very difficult if MbL wants to win this now. But can he get a game off of the Viper? Should be able to, right? Should be able to. And oh boy, I happen to see the Sivs there. So MbL is gonna go do some wacky stuff, and Viper is gonna go for the other Dawn of the Dukes campaign, or Lords of the West. No, Lords of the West campaign Sivs. You'll see in a second. You should know now. There we go. Alrighty, welcome to the third game here between the MbL and Viper. Let's make MbL. Well, he's going for 3 different colors. First he was red, then green, now he's blue. Well, he's gonna stay red on our book. No choice, personal choice there. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, MbL in the red playing as the Incas. I like Incas as a Civ on Arabia. They have a lot of different options, but they of course lack a little bit of mobility because they don't have cavalry. You know, that's just the reality of it. MbL will definitely know that. Now, Viper has gone for Burgundians, a Civ with, good cavalry. I wouldn't call it great because no bloodlines, but it's an interesting Civ, that is very strong in the mid game. But the longer the game goes, the more it drops off. Although, not if you're not up against a cavalry Civ. Like, it's not like MbL can make better cavalry than Burgundians. But, still, elite Eagle Warriors will be able to deal with Burgundian Paladins better than with any other Paladin. Save Byzantine Paladins. I mean, honestly, if you're gonna go for Byzantine Paladins, why not just get Capifract, really? Anyways, let's have a look at the bases here for our players. And oh god, map hacks are back in town. We got back berries, we got back gold for the Viper, we got woodlines nicely positioned around this town. He can easily wall on top of that and even go greedy once again, like he has been doing for 2 games. That doesn't mean that he's gonna do it this time around. Like Viper can also go aggressive if he wants to, but so far he's gone like limited amounts of aggression, delaying his opponent as much as he can, and going for a lot of greed in the meantime. Is oh boy, MbL actually, what is he doing? MbL trying to go for a lame? Yeah, MbL trying to go for a lame. Finally, the MbL going for a lame after all here, but the Viper is here to stop that from happening. But if MbL anyone can lame, it is MbL. He's trying to get this Rhino across, no, on the other side of the stone. Bringing out a villager as well, without Loom, which is really risky. If Viper can seize that vill, he could snipe it. MbL still running around. He's waiting for Loom to come in. There's Loom, and now what he could do is run away from the Rhino with the Eagle, and then just take the villager and take the Rhino in with that. As the Eagle's still taking a lot of damage. The Rhino's stopping. The Rhino's stopping. Is MbL gonna get a shot? No, it's a failed lame. It's a failed lame. Viper just enough harassment to bring that Rhino back, and yeah, Viper's just gonna be happy. His Rhino will be a bit delayed. He's having a bit of fun in the back of his base. Actually, the Viper. Wait a second. Did he lose a villager to a boar? Did he just lose a villager to a Rhino? Because MbL doesn't have a single kill, but Viper has lost a villager. You see that? That means he lost a villager to a Rhino. I bet this Rhino killed a villager because Viper does not have Loom, and he was probably busy looking at the front. Yeah, see, that's what happens to me if I try to lame or try to stop a lame. I just lose a villager because I can't. Multitasking is hard, man. So I guess in the end, MbL, despite not getting his lame, still is ahead by a villager now. It should be, at least, in theory. Oh, he got Loom. Never mind. He got Loom. Viper does not, so he's technically still a villager ahead. Very good. Also healing up his Eagle. It's gonna take forever, but it's at least he can then maybe go to Viper's base and scout a little bit. Hasn't really scout. Look at this. This is classic MbL, right? Sees a boar and boom, or sees a Rhino and boom, goes for it. As for Viper, is not going to be able to lame MbL now because MbL bringing in his Rhino as well. Viper has scouted a little bit of MbL's base. He knows enough, I guess. Sees the main gold, sees the berries, which, by the way, we haven't really talked about. We got forward berries for MbL next to this giant hill as well. Wow, that's not a nice hill to have. If you can keep your own army on top of this hill, it's a nice hill to defend, yes. But if you lose access at any point, then that hill is not going to work in your favor. No. Berries right next to that has wood lines, 4 of them, but they're not as evenly spread out as Vipers. You know, the front is very open here. You got some gold here, you got some stone there. Main gold is in the back on a hill, so there's that. The other secondary gold is out here, so like a TC would be nice at some point. And it's probably gonna be PTCs like that anyways, because you are Incas, you don't have that much mobility. Now Viper does know that MbL does not have a strong scout, so he can wall wherever he wants, and Viper evidently is going to wall a lot again. That is a far out wall right there. Far out, so he's going to go for some greedy walls right here. Imagine a wall, boop, going up right there, boop, going up right there. Which Viper, did he scout that is to the edge of the map? No, he didn't, but he could scout it if he wanted to. He's just scouting to see where his goats are, to see where all the wood lines are. He's going to find the goats now, and if he's if he's particular about it, he might also see that this is a very wallable part of his base as well. But he's not going to see that. Probably more interested in going forward, getting using his faster feudalates, although he doesn't know that, but using that faster feudalate to maybe snipe a walling villager for MbL. Although MbL, he is going for a men-at-arm rush, as you can see, bringing out those militia, coming forward already, and Viper is probably going to see that. He's probably going to see that. Yep, he sees them now. Just passing. Yeah, the Viper, yeah, I definitely saw that. That was a micro, right? That the scout changes direction like that. That has to be human action. So Viper knows this now. Drops a barracks as well. The right side of his economy is very safe, as MbL was, well, he was walking over there, but now sees the wall a lot. Should also tell him a lot about what Viper is planning to do here. You know, well, the more you wall, the more the more aggressive it could get. Is MbL sending forward some villagers here. Has seen that there's a lot of Viper's villagers on that wood line. That's actually the only wood line for Viper right now. I like it. Tower it. Go for the tower. As MbL, you know, he might kill the hunt, but why would you? As Viper now also sees these villagers, and now he knows. Aha! You want to put a tower on my only wood line? That is not going to happen now, is it? He could go for a counter tower. He could also go greedy and just not go for a counter tower at all, because Viper probably wants to add town centers in the next stage. At least that wouldn't surprise me. You might also question, why does it say 94 stone and not, 75? That's because Incas have cheaper stone fortifications than buildings, which means that your towers are cheaper. They still cost more than 100 stone, so that was calculated, right? As MbL sees these berries now, so what is he doing? Hang on a second. Ooh, wait a minute. He wants a tower. Oh, and Viper can see it. He can freaking see it. And now MbL's, he's walled in his villagers, so at least Viper can't stop this from happening right now. We also finishing that palisade wall. Oh, that's not finished. Oh, it is finished. Never mind. Yeah, so that should stay up for now. But remember, villagers get extra bonus damage versus palisades. So they will get to the base of this tower eventually. And then there comes an archer as well. And yeah, tower play. I know you want to deny the berries, although actually there's not a lot of villagers on the berries right now. And we also wants to bring his drush, because that's what it is in reality. Wants to bring his drush over to defend as well. But yeah, I realizes if the archer is here, that will never get up. And MbL is going to walk away with his villager right now. The other two villagers on the other side did get that tower up. I'm not really sure why Viper didn't deny that, because that is only wood line. Yeah, so now he has to run to this other wood line. I guess that's not a problem, but still, yeah. MbL towering over here as well. Not that Viper is taking this wood line. MbL just knows that. He doesn't see any villagers here, but still. Limiting Viper's options to 2. And MbL and Viper probably also wishing he walled a little bit on the left side. Keep himself safe. But the archers are coming forward. There's an eagle too. And eagle and militias for now. There's 2 eagles already. So MbL clearly wants to go for some eagle shenanigans. That's he also wants to push through this house. Sending forward the eagles, which have extra pierce armor. Well, I mean, unless you don't have upgrades, of course. 2 pierce armor on those. These archers have fletching already, so they do 2 damage to these. No, not 2. 3 damage to these eagle warriors. So you definitely need to get infantry armor here if you want these eagles to be effectual versus the archers. And Viper for now, a little bit of stress. But he's holding on, and his house will stay up as well. These villagers, despite doing 4 damage, there's 4. 4 damage plus 3. Wait a minute. That's 6, 7 damage. Huh, that's not bad, actually. That's not bad. Yeah, most of MbL's villagers will just have to go back home. And now, Viper did get wheelbarrow. So that explains the villager difference here between MbL and the Viper. But for the rest, neither side losing a villager. Except Viper, because he lost one to a rhino earlier. Yeah, okay, of course that happens to everyone, so I'm not gonna laugh too hard, but yeah. We're just jesting, aren't we? Now the Viper coming back over here on the gold. MbL still does not have an armor upgrade on his eagles. Also, yeah, he's still getting upgrades right now. I can't quite afford that armor. Now he can. It's 100 food only. So he needs something, because these 3 archers already are a danger to what he can do. With some micro here, as Viper is good at this micro stuff, huh? He can run away from these eagles and snipe them easily. And so it's so frustrating. Now the skirmishers should fare better against the archers, because they also have a ranged attack the same range. You know, a bonus damage versus archers, however slightly, and that's really good. Militia still running around, still being annoying. You see that Viper is on stone, so he is making his stone count go up quite a bit here. I wonder if that's going to be for a forward castle or something like that, as MbL is clearly interested in continuing the tower play. I don't think MbL is ever going to go up to the next stage here, man. I don't think MbL is ever going to get to castle age at this rate. He's not clicked up. Like, this is a lot of villages to attack with. My god, that is, what? That's like, what? A fifth of your economy right there? As the tower now going up on mostly farms and a little bit of berry food that is left here. I mean, Viper can't stop that, because there's too many villages down, as MbL's dropping 2 towers. You know, one to basically shield this tower, and this tower to really actually deny stuff for Viper. And Viper, seeing how much MbL's committing to this, is like, okay, remember, you cannot stop a tower player unless you tower. You have to tower something. Because towers will continue to go up, and Viper, deciding that it's best here to be safe, is going to drop a tower on his own farmland, is going to drop a tower on the gold, and stopping the Noboru Rusher here from coming forward with more towers. Yeah, see, this is what MbL wanted to do. Next tower going up, but yeah, MbL is ready here. I mean, Viper's ready here with an army of archers, and I don't think that tower is going to go up. A nice micro there from MbL, gets the archer, but now loses the skirmisher. I mean, MbL might get this tower up still, but then it's still a tower war, which Viper is okay with. This tower doesn't deny the gold, so you still have to shoot this down. And that might take a while. But another tower, MbL, right next to it. Ooh, what was that? Right next to it. Is this going to be a tower wall or what? I mean, I know that Inca towers are cheap, but the only problem here is that Viper has 600 gold. He's going to drop a market, he's going to buy his way up, and then he's in castle age, and MbL is in feudal age. I mean, MbL's eco is not that bad behind this, actually. Like, 14 farms. Food count is rising. It's not the worst in the world, but remember that when he has 44 villages to 39, that's also because Viper is having some idle TC time as well. You know, and also got wheelbarrow, something that MbL did not do. Yeah, lots of those. Basically, your entire villager lead is right here, sitting in towers, trying to kill Viper's eco, but Viper's just going to repair behind, and MbL can't reach his villager, can he? I think he just can't reach this villager. Oh, that is annoying. As MbL trying to get up to the next stage as well, but he doesn't have a lot to sell right now. Doesn't have enough gold to click up. Doesn't quite have enough food, so he's going to be delayed, as Viper is going to get some horse armor, and he's going to be able to spam some knights to deal with these towers, because these towers, yes, that's nice, but towers will go down to knights if you get enough of them. A ram might do the trick as well, honestly. Or better still, drop a castle, which Viper is heavily on stone, so he definitely wants a castle. I'm not seeing a lot of stables go up, so I'm pretty sure he wants custodies. I wonder where that castle is going to go. Maybe like right there to kind of shield the gold and shoot down his tower. Maybe Maybe he's gonna drop it over here to shoot at all these 4 towers. That, like the castle, if it goes up right here, you can shoot all of these down. But what are the chances of that going up? I don't know. It might be a forward castle as well, honestly. Like, it's like, you drop towers on me, fine, I'll drop a castle on you. Like, bam, right in the middle. Now, as soon as MbL gets to the castle age, this infantry armor upgrade is going to affect these villagers, right? At that point, Inca villagers get way stronger because they get all that extra, extra armor. As castle, yeah. I mean, as Viper makes it to castle age just now, and there comes the castle, and that castle is meant to shoot down these towers. I'm not sure if it's going to reach all of these. Maybe it's definitely going to reach this tower, I think, after fletching and Botkin arrow. Honestly, like, drop it right there. That you would definitely do the trick, but you'd have to delete the farm. That's not really worth it. Yeah, see? No knights coming out. He's making Custodiers, that's for sure. And then, yeah, MbL now also knows he's not going to be able to push through here. Instead, he's just going to chop wood between these towers, because it is actually, in fact, his safest wood line. Yeah, I know, but it's true. Castle does go up, we'll shoot down these towers. There you go, that tower should not stay up too long. And there come the Custodiers, which people have been making a lot lately. I mean, the charge attack is nice, I guess. I mean, you have all that extra damage from your charge attack, which only goes for the first attack, and then you have to recharge that, and then after that you can do it again. But until that, it's only 8 attack. That's not a whole lot, right? That's not a whole lot, actually. So I don't know. I'm still not sold on this unit a little bit. I like it's a wonky mechanic. You know, it's interesting, especially for people that like micro. But for the rest, the unit itself is not that strong, right? It's basically a worse knight with 1 extra buff attack. I think that might even out, I guess, as Viper is taking down a tower. But MbL is like, nope. Here come the Eagle Warriors, and those are Eagle Warriors. They can actually kill villagers easily. Tower does go down still, though, so Viper can still go back to this wood line now if he wants to. And Viper, quick walls himself in, the micro nerd. Oh, ooh! That freaking Eagle. It's still the damage through the stone there. MbL wants it. He wants it. He's like, wait, I did it once before. I got this villager almost, and Viper also for stone quick walls saves that villager on 4 HP. Lucky bastard. Yeah, okay. Wanted to run away, but MbL's nope about that. But there come the Custodiers, and look at that charge attack. I mean, that is the nice thing, right? The first attack is really strong, but after that, it's not the strongest unit in the world. As Viper's also going to run away and build a town center with 1 villager that is on 4 HP. They're just Viper things, I guess. Same time, we got crossbows still. You know, the archers that Viper had left, making their way all the way to MbL's base now to try to deny his wood line, which they did. Mangonel now coming out for MbL. He's pretty good with his Mangonel, so Viper probably knows that as well. He's going to run away for now, keep his crossbows alive, because he can keep them alive. If he can do that, then he will do that. 1 villager town center, again, just Viper things. As the Custodiers gradually climbing a number here, coming forward, and look how fancy they look. They kind of look like janitors, I don't know. I mean, they don't have the shield, so they're not the same, but they kind of look like janitors, don't they? Like the way that they're holding their spear or lance or whatever you want to call it. Anyways, they're just putting a little bit of pressure on MbL. MbL, of course, is going to try to stay alive. Like I said, a town center on this gold and this wood line is probably the way to go here. So that's what he's doing, trying to add some economy. It's 55 to 50 villages, and it's still an even game. As wait, that was from the tower. Town center going up. Town center will finally go up as well. It takes a while with one villager, obviously. This barrack should eventually go down. But again, this is Custodiers to do like 6 damage to this, so it's not a whole lot. Right? Because, again, the attack is very low. MbL, yeah, he feels the pressure in the front. So he's going to try to expand to this way. And all these freaking hills make it impossible to place your TCs in a nice location. And this is maybe too far away, so... not ideal, but you can still place farms between this. It just fit. 1 farm can fit between this. And guess what? You're also going to build them 100% faster. Yay! As we have a castle going up on this giant hill in the front of MbL's base. If the Vil count is similar, the military count is not. As MbL is going for some knights, some monks as well to convert these Couturiers. You know, has some eagles in the back of his base, which cannot beat this army, by the way. The army value for Viper is much higher than it is for MbL. This castle will go up. Viper will be able to get more stone, a forward castle, a nice castle to push from. Drop a siege workshop, start pushing down with mangonels, and you're happy. I mean, MbL is still taking wood over here. This is something that Viper might raid at some point. If you get enough Couturiers, you know, send them around and just kill that forward wood lumber operation, really. As yeah, more and more Couturiers coming out. There's 2 castles now, so you can make them from 2 castles. Viper also bringing his Vil count up slightly here. Still is on 3 TCs. MbL, of course, also on 3 TCs. Yeah, MbL is the one on the back foot here because his base is just open. The score doesn't really look good for him as well. The KD doesn't look good for him as well. As Viper is buying stone. He's buying stone. He wants another castle. That castle's probably going to go up either on the left to deny that or on the TC just to shoot that TC down. As MbL gets a shot in on the crossbows. Chasing down these Expos as well. No, the Couturiers are here to deny that. There's actually no one in this town center right now. And Viper's like, okay, well, we're going to drop a castle. And that is a get out of my game kind of a castle. You know, as MbL is going to lose access to a major part of his base here. I mean, there's only farming economy around it, so there's that. But he cannot deny it. It's 5 monks and he still can't deny it because of these freaking crossbows being closed. There's no villagers sitting in his TC to shoot at the crossbows as well. So Viper is committing to this. And MbL with an expensive army losing all his eagles, which just go down just like that. Because Couturiers, again, if they have charge attack, they will definitely kill whatever they, you know, if they can quickly kill what they're up against, they're definitely very strong and beastly units. But it's continued fights that are difficult. As Viper is buying another castle, he's completely playing MbL out of the game, and MbL realizes there's no way to win this, calls to GG, and Viper will go on to the next round. As was expected, you know, it was expected, but yeah, it's too bad for MbL that he wasn't able to get a win there. The second game, you know, I think he should have gotten that win. Not that he threw that or anything. If anything, Viper almost threw it. But man, he deserved the win there. But yeah, Viper is a really strong player to play against. MbL will know that as well. And he played like a beast anyways. I mean, this game, you know, was very wacky and YOLO. It didn't... In the end, he wasn't able to stop the snake from massing army. And then you're up against Burgundians with Incas. Burgundians have the better economy anyway. So yeah, well played by MbL in the end. He can still be proud of his performance. And of course, he still will just go to the decider game. Where he can still fight for the right to party. No, to get to the playoffs. He is a beast, not a beastie boy. Anyways, let's have a look at the statistics real quickly here. Yeah, much better KD for the Viper. I mean, again, I'm still not sold on Couturiers as a unit when your opponent's going knights, but against eagles, they're actually not that bad. Because that charge attack kills eagles in like 3 shots. You know, 3 charge attacks, boom, eagle dead. So that if you have an equal number of Couturiers to an equal number of eagles, you kill a whole lot of eagles before they're able to do counter damage to you. So that I can see be very nice. But against other knights, you know, knights should be able to beat the Couturiers handily. You know, because they survived that one hit, the one major hit, and after that, it's like, what? They take 4 damage per hit. That's not a whole lot. So, yeah, I prefer the knights there. Army high for Viper as well, you know, and also just kept buying castles as well. What a troll. But I mean, it was a get out of my game kind of castle, and he noticed as well that MbL wasn't able to stop the first castle, let alone the second, so the third castle would have been a disaster as well for him. And you know, and if you see that, why not continue your castle push? If tower players never know when to quit, castle droppers never know when to quit either. The only reason for them to quit is if they run out of stone, which is more likely than tower rushers, but still. Yeah, Viper, after all that pressure from MbL, only losing 1 villager, and that villager, remember, the only reason he lost that was a boar. A rhino. You know, so MbL was basically able to do 0 damage to Viper in the end. And he probably knew that as well. If the Incas had still had their tanky villagers and also the towers were still strong, maybe a tower rush like that would be able to kill the Viper. But of course, you know, Viper has for years played against Vivi, so he will know what a tower rush is like. Every pro at this point have survived tower rushes as well. You know, so they know what to do against them. Not overreact, that is. And Viper didn't do that, and he won the game as a result of it. Like, bam! Castle.